Okay, time for Fumble of the Week. So, Steve Kerr is one of the most decorated names in NBA history. He boasts 9 total championships, 5 as a player, 4 as a coach, and many consider him to be one of the 5 greatest coaches of all time. But his rotations as the head choice of the Team USA men's basketball team have been, let's just say, not good. I understand it has to be really tough, Samaria, to balance a team of so many superstars, right? You probably got some egos out there, but there is no situation or circumstance under which Jason Tatum should not get a minute on a basketball court, right? So in the USA's first game against Serbia, he sat Tatum for the entire game. The man was at the end of the bench with Tyrese Halliburton playing I Declare War and Uno, all kinds of nonsense, and I just couldn't quite understand it. Steve Kerr chose to instead play Derek White, Devin Booker, and Drew Holiday, and 2 of those players are on Jason Tatum's team. They rode his coattails to an NBA championship, and by all accounts, they can't sniff Jason Tatum's draws as an all-around talent. And I love all 3 of those guys. Now, I can see if Tatum was some one-dimensional, slew-footed bum, but he can literally play every position 1 through 4. Literally every position 1 through 4. He is an elite shot maker, a superb defender. He has size, strength, athleticism. There is nothing on a basketball court that Jason Tatum cannot do, and certainly cannot do better than Derek White. We'll just leave it there. This is Jason Tatum coming off of winning a championship, being named first team All-NBA. So you have to give Jason Tatum an opportunity to fail before you give a guy like Derek White a chance to thrive. And I just couldn't quite wrap my mind around Steve Kerr making a decision to sit a guy who also, in addition to being the highest paid player in the NBA, I'm sure has some sponsorship situations tied into his presence in the Olympic Games, right? And so this has the ability to impact and affect his business away from the sport, and you just can't do that. Steve Kerr said that he can't find a situation or scenario in which he plays 12 guys in 40 minutes. It's nonsense. It's a lie. He played 11 yesterday against Sudan. The only person who did not play was Joel Embiid, which also irked me because you have this Cameroonian-born man not going up against the lone African nation team in the Olympics. Steve Kerr, for these atrocities you have committed in the 2024 Parisian Olympics, sir, you are getting the Fumble of the Week. Samaria, what are your thoughts on Steve Kerr receiving the Fumble of the Week?
I'm not necessarily mad at it, but I will say that it seems like he's attempting to tailor the rotations around their opponent, right? And so they played South Sudan, so maybe they were looking to play faster, so maybe that's why he sat Joel down. I'm not really sure. He even said himself after the first game against Serbia that he wasn't happy about the rotations, or maybe how people perceive the rotations, but he has gone out and said that this is like a team effort. Like, it feels like they're all working together. He says that the guys trust him. They understand what guys are not going to play and who's going to play, and everybody seems to be okay with it. So as long as there's not any animosity on the team, I'm okay with it, to be honest with you. They're winning. They're beating the brakes off of teams. So
exactly. So
I'm not
so
then you're saying that he should just check Joel in.
Playing Jason Tatum, are you going to lose your 20-point lead if Jason Tatum touches the floor? Is that what we're implying here? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, if that's the case, then don't bring 12 players then. Don't bring 12 players. I don't want to see a situation where Jason Tatum was on the bench with the stank face. He was pissed.
I know.
He wasn't happy about it. So that statement in and of itself that everybody is fine and working together, no, I want to play. I got a pregnant girlfriend at home who could give birth at any moment. I didn't come all this way to be sitting on the bench, with my good hairline. That's nonsense. It's a waste of a hairline, not playing that brother. And again, like, Jason Tatum is a prototypical. He was the second best player on the last Olympics team, right, behind Kevin Durant. Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't. Steve Kerr is pissing me off because he's also not starting Ant-Man, and I don't get his rotations, yo. And it's like really annoying because it feels like, I'm not gonna say favoritism, but it feels like he's so headstrong, which we all heard that he has been. That's why Michael Jordan punched him in his. But he's being really headstrong and not being adaptable to the situation and circumstance. And I feel like a great coach, a Popovich, would never do this to a guy of Jason Tatum's caliber.
Well, do you feel like a star or stars like Tatum and Embiid, do you feel like it's more disrespectful to just not play them at all, or is it more disrespectful to have them coming off the bench?
No, you never play a guy in cleanup duties. That's not right. You're not going, you know.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. So maybe that's his thought process.
But you can play him. You can find 5 to 7 minutes in the first half of a game to put Jason Tatum in. Like, you can find 14 minutes in a game, 12 to 14 minutes in a game for Jason Tatum to rock out. You don't have to play LeBron James 27 of 40 minutes. Like, you don't have to do that. You sat Joel Embiid versus Sudan, which I probably understand because Joel Embiid is you know, he's still recovering from his injuries. You know, he's been a little slew-footed. He's injury prone. And so maybe you give him a night off of rest, whatever. Like, I understand that. But, like, by and large, there should never be a scenario in which there's another game. Tyrese Halliburton can sit his ass down, too, because he shouldn't be there. But outside of that, like, there should always be an opportunity for all of the elite players on this team to find minutes. You can't sell me on the idea that you can't figure out how to do that. You just can't.
I just feel like this is a team of guys that they do not shy away from speaking out and saying how they feel. So I feel like I feel like they talking. Really?
Yo,
you're trying to tell me you're a superstar in the NBA and you feel like you're over here in the Olympics and you don't think that you can have a meeting with Steve Kerr?
I think that on a global stage, on a global platform, you want to be as minimally problematic as possible. And so you might swallow and bite your tongue way more than you would on an Olympic team than you would your NBA team, where you are the man and the entire building is predicated on who and what you are. So yeah, I feel like in this situation and circumstance, this is an environment for players who feel like they have to go along to get along, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. Y'all let us know your thoughts on Steve Kerr receiving the fumble of the week. Is he doing a good or terrible job managing the roster for the USA men's Olympic team?